Namaskar to everyone. Today we are going to start the book Bhagavad Gita as viewed by Swami Vivekananda. Introduction. The book known as the Gita forms a part of Mahabharata. To understand Gita properly, several things are very important to know. First, whether it was formed a part of Mahabharata, that is, whether the authorship attributed to Ved Vyas was true or if it was merely interpolated within the great epic. Secondly, whether there was any historical personality of the name of Krishna. Thirdly, whether the great war of Kurukshetra, as mentioned in the Gita, actually took place. And fourthly, whether Arjuna and others were real historical persons. Now, in the first place, let us see what grounds there are for such inquiry. We know that there were many who went by the name of Ved Vyas, and among them who was the real author of the Gita, the Badarayan Vyas or the Dvaipayan Vyas. We don't know. Vyas was only the title. Anyone who composed a new Puran was known by the name of Vyas, like the word Vikram Aditya, which was also a general name. Another point is the book Gita had not been much known to generality of people before Shankaracharya made it famous by writing its great commentary on it. Long before that, there were current, according to many, the commentary on it by Bodhian. If this could be proved, it would go a long way, no doubt, to establish the antiquity of Gita and the authorship of Vyas. But the Bodhian Bhashya on the Vedanta Sutras, from which Ramanuja compiled his Shri Bhashya, which Shankaracharya mentions and even quotes in part here, and there is his own commentary, and which was so greatly discussed by Swami Dayanand, not a copy even of that Bodhian Bhashya could I find while travelling throughout India. It is said that even Ramanuja compiled his Bhashya from worm-eaten manuscript which he happened to find. When even this great Bodhian Bhashya on the Vedanta Sutras is so much enshrouded in the darkness of uncertainty, it is simply useless to try to establish the existence of Bodhian Bhashya on the Gita. Some infer that Shankaracharya was the author of Gita and that he was who foisted it into the body of Mahabharata. Then, as to second point in question, much doubts exists about the personality of Krishna. In one place in the Chandogya Upanishad, we find mention of Krishna, the son of Devaki, who received spiritual instructions from one Ghor, a yogi. In the Mahabharata, Krishna is the king of Dwarka, and in the Vishnu Puran, we find description of Krishna playing with the gopis. Again, in the Bhagavad Gita, account of his Ras Leela is detailed at length. In very ancient times in our country, there was in vogue an Utsav called Madan Utsav, celebration in honor of Cupid. That very thing was transformed into Dola and thrust upon shoulders of Krishna. Who can be so bold as to assert that Ras Leela and other things connected with him were not similarly fastened upon him? In ancient times, there were very little tendency in our country to find out truths by historical research, so anyone could say that we thought best without unsubstantiating it with proper facts and event. Another thing is, in those ancient times, there was very little hankering after name and fame in men. So it is often happened that one man composed a book and made it pass current in the name of his guru or of something else. In such cases, it is very hazardous for the investigator of historical facts to get the truth. In ancient times, they had no knowledge whatever of geography, imagination ran riot, and so we meet with such fantastic creations of the brain as sweet ocean, milk ocean, glorified butter ocean, curd ocean, etc. In the Puran, we find one living 10,000 years, another 100,000 years, but the Ved says, Satayurve Purushaha, man lives 100 years. Whom shall we follow here? So to reach a correct conclusion in the case of Krishna is well nigh impossible. So, to be continued, we will have our next episode in a few days. Stay tuned.